Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Tuesday, June 14th, 2011. There's a lot going on this morning. The market looks like it's having a big rally here. The producer price index was just released. I guess it came in a little bit better than expected. Still wasn't a great number, but came in a little bit better than expected. And the markets are moving higher. Let's take a look at the S&P 500. E-minis up almost just about 13 points, spiking higher. They were up about 10 points pre-market, and really got a nice little spike there right after the PPI came out. Also, you have some retail sales numbers that are out as well. So in any case, the markets are moving higher on some economic data. Economic data out of Europe last night came out to be a little bit better than expected. You also had the Shanghai index, which is mainland China. China raising their, People's Bank of China raising their interest rates by a full half a point last night. So you did get a rate increase in China last night, and that's a pretty big move after their inflation reached, I believe, 5.5%. So you did get a half point increase in the key bank interest rate last night, and believe it or not, the Shanghai rallied. So the Shanghai caught a nice bounce. It was up over 1%. You had the Nikkei index last night up 1%, and the Hang Seng was flat. But you also had the Sensex up 2/3 of 1%, and the Australian ASX up 0.3%. So all in all, the Asian markets did a lot better last night. You also had the positive economic data out of the U.S. and some positive economic data out of Europe, or at least it's being spun in a positive way. You have all the European indexes up this morning decently, so they're all up about 0.5% or better, and we'll see how this market plays out. Right now, futures are soaring, up almost 14 points, and you can see that we're at the high of the day here at 1285. So a little positive data being spun into a big rally here, and we'll see how it plays out. You do have the U.S. dollar index lower, and I'll get to the dollar chart. You could see it right over here. Where's my dollar chart? There we go. You can see U.S. dollar index chart down about 14 cents. Not a big move or big decline for the dollar. So not a big decline for the dollar. These markets are oversold. It is still options expiration week going into the Friday expiration. So you're going to get a lot of volatility, and sometimes this is what you have to look for. But nonetheless, pretty solid move today to begin the morning, and we'll see how it all plays out. Now, you do have the USO, which is trading up a little bit this morning, closed at 38.26. You're trading at 38.49. Not really that big a deal. Yesterday, gold was very weak with the decline in the dollar. This morning, you're not seeing a lot of reaction in gold. GLD closed at 147.77. It's trading at 148.06. So not really a huge move higher. And here you have SLV, which is trading up a little bit. Yesterday closed at 33.87. It's trading at 34.13. So not really that big a deal there. Let's take a look at some leading commodity stocks. FCX, which is Freeport-McMoRan, is trading nicely higher. The stock closed at 48.33. This morning it's trading at 49.20. So that is having a pretty nice move. Let's take a look at Cleveland-Cliffs, leading iron ore producer. That's trading at right around 84.51, but it is nicely higher because it did close at 83.49. So you are getting decent moves in some of the commodity names this morning, which is slightly positive, which will help lift the indexes. And then you obviously have the energy stocks, which I'm not seeing a whole lot of activity now, but they're up a little bit there. So that will help the markets. Now, financial stocks are really the key. Yesterday, you had a real nice bid in the financial stocks. JP Morgan traded up nicely higher yesterday. The stock is trading a little higher today, just underneath the 42 level, closed at 41.67. I think JPM is probably the most important financial you need to watch at this time. That stock does well. You have a hard time seeing the markets fall any further in the short run. After a bounce or a bearish pattern, maybe JPM will come down. But yesterday it did have a nice bid. Markets closed basically flat yesterday on the session, and we'll see where they go today. Today you have a big gap up. We'll see if it turns out to be a gap and go, or does it fade from the high. I'm leaning more towards a gap and go, or at least a gap and hold for most of the day. Some stocks that are in the news. Let's take a look at Best Buy. That had earnings this morning. A very nice move early. Again, this stock has been on the weaker side. If you look at a daily chart, it has really been a poor performer. So you can see here at the low end of the chart, earnings come out this morning. The stock is moving up sharply higher. However, it is pulling back a little bit off the highs. And this is a pretty big pullback, about 70 cents. But it is still up nicely. The stock did close yesterday. I believe yesterday the stock closed at 28.82. Today it traded as high as 31, now at 30.34. So a little bit of a pullback off the highs intraday, but nonetheless, it is getting a pretty sizable move higher so far. And you have to respect that. When you have a beaten down stock and it gaps up, it can often be a sign of short-term strength for the stock. So I don't want to, really say that that's a good shorting candidate this morning, because it's not. Anytime a stock is down on a daily chart and gets a gap up, usually that gap can last for a little while. Okay, so, but that is having a nice move. Another stock that is having a good move today in the pre-market is WFR, which we call Wafer. That looks like it's having a pretty nice gap up as well, and that's at 8.91. So there's a pretty nice gap up there. That's a good move for, an $8 stock that's up about 3% or so. You have Macy's also trading higher this morning. So this stock is catching a big bid. That's at yesterday finished around the 27.15, 27.20 level. Today it's trading at 27.78. And that's it. I really don't see anything on the downside here that's worth noting. The markets are holding up very, very well. You have a big gap up this morning. It is options expiration. So again, we'll take it one day at a time right now in this fragile environment. But nonetheless, the markets have a nice gap up this morning. The dollar is not down too much, so it's showing a little bit more relative strength in the stock market, as opposed to the actual dollar inflating the market. The dollar is down a little bit, but not all that much. So it looks like the markets are getting a nice oversold at least initial bounce this morning. I think it probably has a good chance to hold up. We'll see if it does fade. I'm not in that camp that it will fade, though. Okay, with that said, everybody, there's not a whole lot else to go over this morning. For those of you in the chat room, I'll see you all on the charts at 9:30. Have a great morning, great trading day. Talk to you later.